Are there any misconceptions about your discipline that you would like to clarify?
Yes, there are three. The first one is that an itinerant teacher is not an audiologist, and the second is we're not a speech and language therapist. And we kind of talked a little bit about this earlier. We have a little overlap in our work, but we're not trained in audiology or speech and language. So that's one. The third and final one is kind of the big one, and that is we don't have all the answers. You know, when I come into a classroom, especially for the first time, and especially if the child has what the teacher may view as unusual behaviors, I don't have the answer for all of that. I'm not there to fix it all. And sometimes that's what they want. And I can understand it. You know, they're feeling a little awkward or lost or something. And so I think the way to handle that is just to remember or to remind people we really are a team. You know, tell me what you're seeing. I tell you what I'm seeing. Let's see what somebody else sees. You know, let's talk to the parent. You learn a lot. You know, we really have to remember we have to talk to them. You know, parents know so much. I always learn tons. And then we work it out together. You know, what's going on? You know, an example, I had a little boy recently, just, you know, hard of hearing, basic little guy, doing some curious little behaviors. Well, we discovered after talking with the parent that, you know, where the origins of those behaviors came from. So remembering we're a team, I'm just not there to fix it all. So I'm not an audiologist, not a speech and language therapist, and I'm just not the one who's going to fix all the problems. But together we can work it out. I mean, they're people. You know, we need to remember, these are little people.
Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with before we end?
A few thoughts. One of the things that I've learned in this work is that the big key is communication. How I communicate with the teachers, the parents, how they communicate with me, how we communicate with the child. And really remembering that our goal, at least for me, is for the child to develop really good connections with other people. I know that the academics are important. I know that, you know, being able to match something or sort something is important, but where is it important in their everyday life? And in helping these children, all children, develop good, strong connections, I think we're helping them we're giving them the skills to have a satisfying life, however long that life is going to be. And in whatever situation it's going to be. They may need to have a lot of support their whole life. For example, in schools we're gung-ho on matching and sorting. I don't know why we are. So sometimes I want to say, so what? How about instead we learn as little Johnny or Susie, you know what, at home I have this job where I put the two blue shoes together, matching, and sorting. I sort them from the red and the green shoes, and my job is to put them in the closet. Or how about when it's time to empty the dishwasher or the dish drain, my job is to put the forks with the forks and the knives with the knives and so forth. And I do it with my family. Now I'm connecting with my family and I have a role. I'm not just off to the side what everybody else is doing, the family things. So for me, communication is such a big key for everybody on so many levels. And I would say that the other thing I would want to kind of put out there is that the more people can learn, the better for all of us. You know, I know of someone getting some online training, and it made such a difference for her. It made such a difference for the child she works with. And it makes a difference for me. Now I can talk to her in a different way. And I'm not doing tons of coaching. I'm just kind of the guide. I would love to be just the guide. And along those lines, the more I learn, the more I feel like I don't know anything. You know, we're looking at little people. We're trying to sort out, who are they? What's going to work for them without really being in their shoes? The more we can try to be in their shoes. And I don't necessarily mean, you know, putting a blindfold on and plugging your ears. I don't think that works. Because you still have your mental construct of what it is to see a chair for a chair. But rather, if we can play around with how we experience the world. For example, take a toy and find 20 different ways you can explore it or experience it, instead of the way you've always experienced it. Take a broom, find 20 different ways you can experience that broom. Then you can start to think that from a perspective of someone who may not see that broom, what is it like? What do I do with it? So again, just communication, trying to get a feel for what might it be like, and what is it like for me, and how do I go out into the world? How do I connect with people, and how can I guide this child to really connect? How can they be part of the classroom? How can they be part of their home life? Because isn't that what parents really want? They want little Johnny or Susie to be part of their family. They're heartbroken. So if we can sometimes step back and say, am I really giving the child a way to really develop a connection? And in sign language, I love the sign. That when we talk about really connecting with another person, we're really connected. So that's my goal, is to learn to communicate with people better so that I can begin to guide them, to guide these children to have a better way to communicate, whatever it is. They'll really feel a connection in their lives, because they're going to grow older, they're going to leave my life, and the family is still going to be with them. If I can lay a foundation for good communication and connection, then I've done my job. If I haven't, then I feel like I haven't done my job. And I don't care if they can match socks. You know, I want them to have a certain level. I want them to have happiness, whatever that's going to mean for them and for their family. So that would be my last word, is just, it really is about communicating. And thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Thanks, Cristi, for sharing your valuable information with us.